Alright, welcome back to Star Ocean Anamnesis. So the anniversary is finally over. Gabe has disappeared. I'm sure he'll come back sometime in the future, and I'm not looking forward to that. But we're on this screen right now because I need to pull for a light weapon because I don't have one yet before we hop into Misery 3. So I guess we'll take a look at the weapons first. Our first weapon is the Silent Snow Rose, which has light imbuement, light damage plus 50%, light damage plus 80% against enemies weak to light. It increases the critical hit rate and crit damage during rushing by 40%, and the last factor is hit counter plus 3 seconds. So this entire gacha is light themed, and I'm pretty sure that this gun is the only light gun that we currently have available, because I think we have another one, but it's apparently limited. So this one is of course a must-have for gun users. In that case, it's very powerful, has some good extra damage factors. During rush combos you get the extra crit rate and crit damage, which is also spectacular for carries like Maria. The last factor is not really necessary, so you don't have to max limit break this, but the Soleil's sword can also be found in the coin shop, which you could turn into a gear, and then you can slot light onto whatever other weapon you want. So technically you don't really need this, but if you've got some gems lying around, then go for it. And then we have the Bunny Snow Dome Orb, which has the exact same first factor, light imbuement, light damage plus 50% or 80% against enemies weak to light, reduces the attack and int damage that you take by 15%, and when the hit count is above 100 hits, it increases int damage by 40%. We already have 2 other light orbs in the gacha, so if you have those, you don't really need to get this weapon unless you really want to min-max that. Unfortunately, the last factor on this weapon is also pretty good, and it's locked behind that limit break 5 wall, so that kind of sucks. When it comes to casters that use orbs, we only have Crimson Opera and Mavelle, I think, so if you have those 2 characters, this weapon might be pretty good for them. Other orb casters can't really use it because you can't imbue symbology, but for some other physical orb users like Valentine's Colleen, for instance, this would be a very good orb. And then we have the Mechanical Scythe, which has damage against mecha enemies plus 80%, gives you an 80-10 guts, and the last factor increases your rush combo damage by 40% whenever you're above 150 hits. 80% extra damage against mecha enemies is freaking insane. Unfortunately, it is pretty specific, but you could also slot on an elemental gear of some kind to make this an elemental weapon, which would make it extra deadly against mecha enemies, so that makes it a pretty good scythe. The 80-10 guts increases your survivability, which is pretty nice, and that last factor is also really good, which means if you're going to pick this weapon, you might want to think about using some hammers to uncap it completely. And lastly, we have the 5-Go Gideon Sword, which has light imbuement, light damage plus 50%, light damage plus 80% against enemies weak to light, and 80-10 guts, and the last factor is 40% extra crit rate when your HP is at 100%. There is another light greatsword in the gacha, which isn't much worse than this one. It has normal attack AP recovery plus 100%, which is always very nice for a greatsword character, so if you have that one, you definitely don't need this. But this is a very good greatsword for pretty much every greatsword type character, so if you're lacking the other one, then it might be a good idea to pull for this. Of course, don't forget the Soleil's can be found in the coin shop. Like I said at the start, it has a light element, so if you've got some extra 5-star weapons lying around, you could transmute all of those into Soleil's, then turn that into a gear and slot it onto whatever weapon you want. But I guess we're gonna pull. Try to get the 5-star gun. Oh man, it's gonna be fun. You know, I could oh, that's a 2 5-stars. That's very nice. I could very easily turn the Soleil's into a gun because or turn that into a gear and then slot that onto a gun, because I do have a whole lot of 5-stars that I don't use. Hey, it's a greatsword and a scythe. That's a good sign. I have a lot of 5-stars I don't use, so I could easily make that, and if I don't get this, I might just do that, because I definitely need a light weapon. I have... Okay, that's the, nothing on the banner, but it's a blade and sheath. Looks pretty cool. I do have a one-handed sword that's light, so I could just use that for the Misery 3 boss, but I want to use Maria. Oh, no! Damn it. It's the scythe. Oh man, it does have the 80% mecha damage, which is good, but I don't really see a use for that unless I turn that into a gear. Alright, time to tackle Misery 3, and I went ahead and slotted a light gear onto this weapon. Unfortunately, I don't have any any new age gun, so I don't have the extra elemental damage, but I guess I'll just use some grease to remove that when I do get one of those weapons. Alright, going in with the Eve, the Parisi, and the double Maria. I'd love to see how this one's gonna turn out. Wow, I'm actually not doing a whole lot of damage. That's not very surprising. Oh no, please fly. There we go. There we go. Okay, I hope this Maria is actually running a light weapon, because I didn't check that. But wow, we've done a lot of damage so far. I guess the Parisi is doing some work with her buffing. This Maria might have some very good weapons, so she can probably do a lot of damage there. I'm definitely not doing a whole lot here. Well, 2 million is not bad. 2 million is not bad. If we can get the element burst on right now, I think that's a GG. So we're doing so much damage already. What the hell? You know, if you do happen to get the Mecha Scythe, which would be... Oh wait, there's also a new accessory, I guess. Yeah, a new accessory that increases your damage during rush combos by 30%. I think that one is perfect for Maria, as well as a lot of other carries. So I definitely have to get that one leveled up a bit. Oh, there's the open burst stun. Ah, this is gonna be good. Okay, let's go. We should have gone with the bunker though. That would have been way better. Well, let's just hope that we get some good assists. Oh, I should have procced my Tika assist. Would have gotten the extra 85% attack buff, I think. That would have been good. Because I think Maria normally only gets 20%. Yeah, that would have increased my damage output by a lot. Oh well. 3.8 million is not bad. Not bad at all. So I guess I was talking about the accessory, right? Definitely have to get that one. And yeah, the new scythe that you have in the shop, or not the shop, the gacha, mechanical damage plus 80%. Pretty ridiculous if you turn that into a gear and slot it onto one of the new age. Oh, that barely missed me. Onto one of the new 1500 stat weapons. Oh, this is it. Oh, that hit me. Oh, god damn it. I guess I can't really fly above that then. Well, I guess we found that out. So we have a new item set in the shop. Costs 5,000 gems, has an ace ticket, a peace seed, large limit breaker, 5 medium limit breakers for some reason, a gift barrier blaster, and some enhancement materials. I don't really see a reason to spend 5k for these items, so personally I'm not going to buy it. I wouldn't recommend that you buy it either, because it doesn't look that great. And they're also rerunning the first set of Christmas characters, so Fidel, Eve, and Priestess, and they did get buffed at some point, but of course those buffs are kind of old now. I think the only one that might be able to hold up pretty well is Fidel over here. He might be able to do some decent damage, but I think he's just a worse Christmas Maria at this point. Then Priestess is way outclassed, of course. Eve might not be bad either, but again, there's way better defenders out there, so... they're not that great gameplay-wise. Well, you know, they're decent gameplay-wise. Of course, you know what I'm trying to say is that you can use whoever you want. If you like these characters, just use them. And we also have a new memorial gacha with Marias and Sophias. 3 Marias and 2 Sophias. Not sure why the SRF Sophia isn't on here, because I'm pretty sure that one is limited, but it could be permanent. Not sure about that, but I guess we'll just go down the list. So first up we have Bride Maria, who is of course way outclassed at this point, by herself even, twice. So only pull for her if you're trying to collect the Marias. Then we have the Cherry Blossom Maria, who relatively recently got some buffs, so she is still very usable. And as for the Summer Maria variant, I think she's just a worse Cherry Blossom Maria, so still usable. But if you've got the Cherry Blossom, you don't really have a reason to use her over the Cherry Blossom one. Then Summer Sophia should not even require mention. I think she's on about the same level as Bride Maria at this point. I think she's still a bit more usable than Bride, but it's not that big of a difference. So again, only for collectors. Maid Sophia should still be usable. Of course, not ideal, but you can still use her if you want. And there's also a new accessory that you can get from the current Christmas event, Complete Misery 3 once to unlock it, and it increases your rush combo damage by 30% whenever the hit count is above 300 hits, and increases your evasion speed and evasion distance by 50%, right? And this accessory is not too bad. Rush combo damage plus 30% is very nice, considering that rush combo buffs are kind of rare, and it's sitting at a 300 hit count, which isn't bad for a 30% buff. Also increases your evasion speed and evasion distance, which helps you survive a bit more. So overall, very good accessory, and be sure to pick that one up. And lastly, we have a New Year's campaign, so we're getting some stuff in the item shop. They're going to add that later, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. The amount of friend points, or not friend points, the amount of affection points that you get from events has increased, so now it makes it a bit easier to get your characters to max affection, so be sure to take advantage of that. We have some increased chances for item drops in the level up courses. Then, of course, login bonus for a good 20 days, that's pretty impressive. And then lastly, we're getting a present from Evelise on the 24th. Oh, I got a large limit breaker from the deep space thing. Very nice. I still haven't gotten magical hammers from these. I still don't believe they actually exist. Maybe I can get it off of this one. Guess we'll have to see. But that does it for the update. So I guess I'm signing out. Hopefully that was helpful. And I guess I'll see you guys later. Peace!